guys, it's Elizabeth, Finding Elizabeth, back for part 4 of my 2-year post-op weight loss surgery Q&A video. Still no makeup, but feeling better after I made the last video. So I thought, yeah, let's do one more. But my videos here take like 9 years to upload, so I'm only going to do 2 tonight because I still have 4 more pages of questions because you guys had some really good questions. I hope I'm not boring everybody. But anyway, let's just jump right in. This question is from, I think is it Lique, L-I-Q-U-E. She wants to know, after weight loss surgery, where did you find the strength and courage to do online dating? I don't know. It took me a while. I didn't start until I was about 18 months post-op. I started in September. I had done online dating before, but for sites that were aimed at men who were interested in larger women. I initially put my first ad out on Craigslist because I just hated how long it took on like Match.com and eHarmony and just like back and forth and blah, blah, blah before you met anybody. Now that seems a little crazy to me, but you know, whatever. I went out on my first date in early September with a guy who it didn't, you know, things didn't work out with, which is fine, but it was that experience of, you know, going into like the normal size dating pool that really increased my comfort level to know, okay, here's a guy, a normal guy, and he is attracted to me, and yada, yada, yada. So then I moved on to Tinder. I had Tinder on my phone here in California, but had always been afraid to use it because it has the reputation of being a pickup app, or yeah, hookup, pickup, whatever. But what I liked about it, what I seemed to like about it was how fast it was. So I used it for the first time in London when I was traveling because I figured, hey, you know, guys are probably classier in London. So, I shouldn't say that, but I did. So met a really great guy in London who I'm still friends with. I was there for a week. We went out a few times. Really enjoyed him, and I tell him now that I feel really fortunate that he was the first person that I met on Tinder because he really was, you know, a super nice, smart, fun, normal person. And I don't know that I would have done it here when I got back to LA if that hadn't been the case. So it was really just a process, too, of going on more and more dates. I mean, I probably went on, I met Brian through Tinder in early November, right when I got back from all of my traveling. When I very first started using it here, I probably went out with, I don't even know now. I mean, I probably went on like 10 or 12 different dates between September and November. And, you know, really for the most part, everyone that I met, predominantly via Tinder, whether there was a connection or there wasn't, was a, you know, a decent person. But just doing it over and over again helped me get over the nerves and knowing how to do it because I had never dated like that. I don't think in my life I had been on 10 or 12 dates before because I just, although I'd always had boyfriends and been married, I just sort of, you fell into relationships with friends of friends or you met someone somewhere. It wasn't the way it is now where you go on like 9 million first dates. So it was practice, I think, for me. And I mean, I just like one day felt like, okay, I'm ready to do this and I'm feeling more comfortable with how I look, and you know, I really encourage just getting out there and doing it. And you know me, I'm like the Tinder poster child. I think it's I think you have to, it's a numbers game, and there are going to be a lot of people who maybe are on there to hook up, so you have to be a little bit selective, but I liked it. So okay, let's see. Lindsay's Life says, what's my favorite song right now? I like old songs pretty much, but right now I'm liking, and this is funny because I never really listened to him before, but this song First Kiss by Kid Rock and Easy Silence by the Dixie Chicks are 2 songs that come to mind right now that I'm liking. Sleeve Bug says, what's been the hardest part of this for you? I think I answered that in another video. Right now, it's just the hardest part is pushing through to do what I need to do to lose this final 20, 25 pounds. Sister Scaleback asked, what is the one food that you absolutely cannot eat now but wish you could? I can eat, I mean, I can pretty much eat anything. I can't eat very much of anything, but even, but I don't want to eat very much of anything. I mean, things that came to mind were like donuts and pizza, but I can eat donuts and pizza. I just can't eat very much of it, and that's just fine with me. Having a bite or two of a donut or a slice of pizza is, you didn't kill a baby. So I can eat anything. I mean, I guess I'm fortunate in that respect. Quilting Connie asks, what is your favorite workout? I can tell you what I hate. I mean, I love my personal training workouts. It's like kind of a CrossFit workout. I hate squats, but I can do them, and I have to do lots of them. I don't know. I still don't know that I have a favorite workout. I go and do it, and I feel great afterwards, and I feel great that I have the strength, but, you know, none of it's really my favorite, honestly. Walking on the beach, but that's not a workout. I mean, I'm not getting my sweat on when I'm doing that. VSG BrittBratt asks, what are your favorite WLS meet and greets? Which ones did you feel you left with the most information and connections? You know, there's been something very special about each of the, about each of the meet and greets that I've gone to. I feel like my preference now is towards the smaller gatherings, and after Nashville, I probably will only go to the bigger meet and greets if I'm either speaking or participating in some way, or if they're in my backyard, because it's so many people. I have been to, I mean, there's something about all of them. Obesity Help, the first one I went to was in Redondo Beach. That was where I met all my like YouTube heroes. So that was really great. It was tough because I was only 4 months out, and I saw people doing things and being skinny doing those things that I probably could have waited a little while longer before I started to do. But that was where I first met people in the YouTube community, so that one was special. What was the next one? I guess the next one was was like a year ago, March. I went to Chicago. It was a smaller meet and greet. I had a super good time there because it was smaller. It was a much smaller group of people. Then WLSFA in San Diego was last year, right this same week. Last year was super fun because now I'm seeing friends that I had already made. In terms of information, I mean, I don't know, in all honesty, that I came away with huge like content information from any of these meet and greets. Yes, I mean, getting to know people, but like the actual conference sessions, I really liked. There was a session at the first Obesity Help thing I went to, and now I can't even remember what it was about, but it was a research presentation from a doctor on like the things that impact your weight loss the most, which was interesting. And then at Obesity Help in North Carolina, I met Bill Streetman, who was on the show before, who does a great presentation. But, you know, they're all good. I tend to now, I mean, I think from this point forward, it's probably going to be me getting together with small groups of people for the most part, I think. But I encourage you to go. I don't feel like I made real friendships within the weight loss surgery community until after I did that. So, yeah. Okay. Camper for Life 222 asks, how did you get past the fear of risk and complications from surgery? That was a huge fear for me for many years. That's why it was like, you know, 16 years from the first time I had a consult to when I finally did it. I was a single mom for most of the time, and in my head I was like, how can I risk my life as a single mom over something I should be able to control myself? Well, number one, I couldn't control it myself, and I think I just got to a point for me where, number one, I waited until my son was older, so I was like, okay, if something happens, you know, he's taken care of, he's getting ready to be out of the house. It would be awful for him, but it wouldn't be as awful as if he were like 5. And I was hit up against a wall of desperation, of feeling like so desperate and miserable that I just had to jump and do it. So, and then once I did it, I was like, wow, this was like, from a surgery perspective, this is like such not a big deal. I mean, plastics is a much bigger deal, and one I'm much more nervous about. And I don't even know. I mean, honestly, I don't know if I'm even going to do it, but I have a lot of fears about complications from that because I have not a good time in surgery. When I had my gallbladder out, I ended up in kidney failure on dialysis and critical care for 3 weeks. So that's a fear for me. And even last time with my VSG, I was so sick, nauseous afterwards that I ended up back in the ER the night after I was released. So the whole idea of surgery scares me. And both of those surgeries were laparoscopic. I mean, plastics is a way bigger deal. So I think the risk of complications and fatalities in weight loss surgery are very, 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 very small. Yeah. How many minutes are? Okay, I think we can do. Well, let's see. I want to finish up the page. So gastricRose says, "What's your most favorite NSV?" My most favorite NSV is was when and I did a video on this, when my son, who is a musician, he had never invited me to go hear him play music before, and on Valentine's Day weekend this year, out of the blue, he invited me to go. And I don't think, number one, that he would have invited me pre-op, and number two, I don't know that I would have gone, because even like feeling good about myself, I was a little uncomfortable because I was the oldest person in the place by like probably 25 years. But seeing him in that element, and I mean, it just like burst my heart open. And I remember driving home that night crying, thinking, this is what it was all about. Being able to do something like this is what this surgery was absolutely all about. So that's my favorite NSV. Heavy DeLite asked about the hardest part of the journey. I already answered that one. It's just Angie asked, to keep track of your protein intake, do you use an app or do you just eyeball it? If so, what app? So I use MyFitnessPal. I should use it all the time because that's really the only way I can keep real track of my protein. And even though I feel like at this point I can sort of eyeball it, keep it in my head, I'm always surprised when I use MyFitnessPal. So anyway, okay, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm not going to do any more tonight. I'm tired. But we'll do some more maybe tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'll do my 2-year post-op update. Okay, guys, I love you. Bye.